purpose on purpose. So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. On purpose. On purpose.
So today with us on Stool Talk, we're honored to have a special guest, one that I've been trying to get for a long time. Here on Stool Talk, we walk in our purpose on purpose, and today's guest is definitely doing that at a high level. Today we have with us the one, the only, Maley Roberts. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. So where did this track journey begin from you? How old were you when you first started running, and was track even your first sport?
I started running my seventh grade year, but I did gymnastics since I was 2, so I always did gymnastics. But I started track because of my dad.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to your dad too, Coach Mr. Dominique Roberts. Very influential. Like I learned so much from him just hearing other people and the lives that he has touched and poured in input. And that when my daughter was running track, I was trying to get her to run with him and to train with him because he's such a great trainer. So you had that secret weapon. How was that with your dad pushing you and you striving and learning it and enjoying it? How did that go hand in hand?
It's definitely not the same for people that just have coaches, as he's my father. So it was a lot more pressure, but it helped me so much more. So it was very good, but at the same time, sometimes it's a lot.
Yeah. When could you tell that you were developing, and when could you tell that you were getting really good at it?
My freshman year, I dropped 5 seconds from my 400, my beginning of the year to the end of the year. So I realized I was good at it.
Yeah. What events do you run?
Mainly the 4 and the 4x4, but I'm also trying the 200 and sometimes the 8.
Okay. Would you say you are a runner that gets stronger as you run? Do you got a great start, or is it both?
Oh, I get stronger as I run. I definitely have a good top speed at the end.
Okay. What do you love most about track?
Other people. I like the competition, and you meet a lot of new friends at each meet, so it's very talkative and yeah.
Yeah. So before you're about to get in the blocks, is it something you're saying? Is it something you're telling yourself? Is you reading the scripture? Is you saying something? Like, what is the feeling as you getting in the blocks before the gun? Is it nerves going crazy?
I'm always anxious, like very anxious, so I always pray before. And then right when I get in the blocks, I take a few deep breaths,
Yeah.
and then when the gun goes off, I just run.
Okay. What does faith mean to you, and how has faith helped you in this track journey?
A lot. Faith means a lot to me. I always make sure I pray. I always make sure that I think of God. I always think like God's helping me the whole time. It means a lot to me. I can't forget it. I will never forget it, and I'm so thankful for God and what He's done for me.
Yeah. What does a typical track training week look at you during the track season and maybe off season?
So I train every day, basically every day. We lift like two to three times a week. We run almost every day. And during the track season, Mondays are our hardest days. We have lots of endurance, lots of long sprints. It's not my favorite at all. But we also do a lot of short sprints to work on our takeoff speed.
Yeah. How do you mentally make yourself ready for practice, and how do you handle, making it work by balancing it with school, being a teenager, with family, still having time for yourself? How do you balance that, and how do you get yourself mentally prepared for it?
To be honest, I'm never mentally prepared for practice. I never know what's happening. So when it happens, I just try to do my best. It sucks sometimes, but I try. But thankfully, I'm always able to get out of school earlier since I'm a senior. So I always got my homework done at school, and I'll get home early. I'm able to take naps and rest. So
Yeah.
after practice, I have some energy in me, and me and my friends go hang out. Most of my friends are from track, so then we all have the same schedule.
Yeah. Speak to the youth on this. How important is making sure that you have consistent and good practices while you run the track?
It's very important. My dad always tells me what we do at practice, what you do at a meet. So if you slack at practice, you'll slack at a meet. So you always have to think practice is a meet. So you always try your hardest.
Yeah. What is the difference with you running regular meets and then running meets that really mean something? Maybe like league, district, or even when you go to nationals. Is it a different training regimen? Is it a different focus? How does that happen and how does that work?
I don't think it's more different how I like run or anything, but it's definitely more nervous. You doubt yourself more out of higher meet, I feel like, when you shouldn't, because you forget that you are also one of the top athletes there. So you forget. But it's definitely, I always try to think that all meets are the same. So I don't psych myself out because I do that a lot.
How has your experience been with you running down at the states and running in high stake races?
It's definitely nerve-wracking. But I always try to calm myself down. I always go somewhere by myself so I can just calm myself down before I run. So I don't think about getting beat or something. Because
Yeah.
I am like you, oh, I always forget like you are a top athlete, and forgetting that makes you, it doesn't go well.
Yeah. And I know comparison is the thief of joy, and comparing yourself with times and looking at this people. Now we got social media. A lot of athletes get distracted on comparing themselves. But when do you sit down and say, God has really blessed me. I can do all things through Christ who give me strength. Maley, you are a great runner. Like, you belong here. Do you give yourself that time? Do you talk to yourself, or do you think that? Because I know you selfless, and I know you put in the work, and I know your work shows. Just like me, from a different distance, being so proud of you and how you've been elevating and how you're running. Do you give yourself the credit?
I definitely do. My friends always tell me to. My dad always tells me to. So I always make sure I give myself credit and make sure like I know that I deserve to be where I'm at.
Yeah. What type of athlete would you say you are? And would you say you're a great leader vocally? And do you lead better vocally, or do your play lead better?
Both. I
Both.
always make sure I'm on top of the team. I always make sure they're doing their best and I lead them the right direction. And I want them to win. So I make sure they don't try to like degrade themselves or anything. I always top them up. But also my performance and showing how I run and how I practice also inspires my other teammates to do the same as I do.
Yeah. And how would you pick a teammate up if you see them down after a race, whether they ain't run good, they false started, or they just down? What would you say to that teammate?
I always tell them it's just one race. It doesn't define what you're gonna do later or what you already accomplished. Because we all have those days that we don't do our best, but it doesn't mean that you're bad. It's just a bad day.
Yeah. And what would you say to those athletes that may have had a race that was bad, it ended up not good, and now they need to, regain that focus and regain that? Has that happened to you? And in the instance that it happened to you, how did you bounce back?
Yeah, it happened to me. But I have patience, and you have to realize that your growth is different from everybody else. So someone could be running better times than you, but eventually, at the end of the year or something, you'll get there. Just growth is not the same for everybody, and having patience and trusting in yourself will make you do so much better.
Wow, that was excellent. I liked it. That was really good. That was really good for the young athlete to hear what she just said. Wow. How many records have you set, and have you broke your PRs, and did you like have goals before the year that you wanted to reach?
I had goals. I didn't reach them this year. Some of them I didn't reach. It was fine. But I broke one record, almost two. I I almost got it by zero point 0.1 seconds, but I missed it, so it's fine.
Wow.
But this year I broke two personal records, so I'm proud of that.
Yeah. Looking ahead, what are your goals in the future, individually and team wise?
Well, going to Michigan State, I hope to make an NCAA national championship one year, and just to do my like overall best at Michigan State, just to try my hardest because it's something new that I've never been with a whole bunch of collegiate athletes. So
Yeah. How was that recruiting process, and how did you come up to pick Michigan State to be the school for you?
it's not definitely not the best all the time. It's definitely nerve-wracking, a lot of talking, a lot of visits. But I always make sure look at the coaches. If they are nice and will do anything for you and then treat you with respect and like how they want you on the team, I think that's always better than how the team performs. If they treat you well, then I feel like that's the place you should be.
Yeah. And what would you say to the up and coming seniors and even maybe some juniors that's looking to pick a school? Do you think it's better for them to focus on it right now, before track season or after track season?
I say now. You always want to get ahead of it, and then also during the track season, you always want to make sure you're emailing them all the time. Even if they don't answer, email them again because they'll eventually get to it. And it's okay if they don't email you back. You have so many other schools you can go look at.
Yeah. What would you say to the young athletes that's looking to go to a big school and might have to go to a D2 school or D3 school or NAIA school? What would you say to that?
That's fine. Any division's good. You work to get there, and there's also a chance after your freshman year in college you can transfer somewhere else. So it's like you're not going to give up on D1 because you can still go D1 your sophomore year in college. There's like always a possibility you can be up there.
Yeah. What does your diet look like during the season, or is it just the same year round?
It's usually the same, but I also add more carbs and protein, and I always have to drink a nutrition shake every single day with like every meal during track season.
Yeah. So after a big race ends, what is Maley wanting to eat, or where you want to go? What's your go-to after a big meet?
Me and my friends always go to like Chipotle or somewhere right after a meet. It's really late. It's like we're like there at like 10 p.m., but we always go there.
Yeah, make sure they get the right amount of service, right?
Yeah.
um, who are the track athletes that you look up to and that inspire you, or who do you think your running style resembles?
Anna Hall inspires me. I always liked Anna. I always loved Florida and looking at Anna Hall. So she's just a genuine awesome person. And running like doing 7 events is
Yeah.
crazy to me, and she's just amazing at it.
Wow, seven. So if it's back to back, she has to be prepared and be ready to, get her little recovery and then get ready for the different races, right?
Yeah, but they're usually spread out between 2 days. So I mean, she has a
Oh,
break.
okay. Okay. Whatever comes to your mind, can you speak something positive into the youth and the young track runners?
Um, don't give up so easily and believe in yourself that you will be great because you'll always be great.
Yeah. What type of runner is Michigan State Spartans getting in Maley Roberts?
Um, I'm definitely someone serious and focused, so I would be on my game. I wanna help my team. I feel like I'm a great leader coming to track, so I want to help my team. Wouldn't necessarily say lead it, but I want to push us to be better.
Yeah, and that's why we do these interviews so they can see the journey of the athlete. There's a lot of kids that look up to you, Maley, that have seen you running, that have seen you put in the work, and hearing your testimony, hearing your journey that allows them to be motivated. So we thank you for coming on here, giving us this time and opportunity. We pray that God gives you the strength, He gives you direction, He gives you favor as you go to Michigan State. May your steps be ordered. Know that you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength, and be strong and be courageous as you go up there. And if God is for you, who can be against you? We're proud of you. We're spotlighting you for being a great athlete on the track and in the classroom. And, we celebrate you. We're going to continue to celebrate you, get more interviews as you go down there as well. And
Hmm.
just continue to share, and, have people see what God has done inside of your life and what He's doing with you. So we thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.